I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart, broke it here, made friends and lost them through the years. And I've not seen the boring fields in so long. I know I've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. 15 years old and smoking hand-rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields and getting drunk with my friends. Had my first kiss on a Friday night. I don't reckon that I did it right, but I was younger then. Take me back to when we found weekend jobs, and when we got paid, we'd buy cheap spirits and drink them straight. Me and my friends have not thrown up in so long. Oh, how we've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. Over the castle on the hill. Over the castle on the hill. One friend left to sell clothes, and one works down by the coast. One had 2 kids but lives alone. One's brother overdosed. One's already on his second wife. One's just barely getting by, but these people raised me, and I can't wait to go home. And I'm on my way. I still remember these old country lanes when we did not know the answers, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle on
faculty, parents, family, friends, and excited graduates of the class of 2017. Chers professeurs, parents, membres de la famille, les amis et les bientôt diplômés de la FASNY, de la classe de 2017, bienvenue, welcome to the 9th commencement ceremony of the French-American School of New York, FASNY. FASNY, and the proof is before us, develops globally literate, multicultural, lifelong learners through a unique program that integrates French, American, and international curricula. FASNY students know academic rigor. They seek excellence in their diverse pursuits: intellectual, academic, athletic, artistic, community service, and on and on. And these students recognize the critical importance of kindness and social responsibility. Indeed, this is a special graduating class, FASNY's largest to date, at 75 students strong. And the first containing international baccalaureate students alongside French Bac S, ES, and OIB scholars. As we begin a program to recognize their achievement and wish them well, I'd like to welcome our head of school, Joel Peinado, for the head's welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Members of the Board of Trustees, staff members, parents, families and seniors, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome you to FASNY 9th commencement ceremony. It's indeed a very special one. As Mark pointed out, this is the biggest class ever. It's also a class where we have IB students and baccalaureate students. Among the many scholarly, athletic and artistic accomplishments of these students, I cannot help mentioning, though, that our seniors on the boys' varsity rugby team made history when, yes, they were. When they won with their teammates from Keio Academy, so it was a joint team, French-American School of New York and Keio Academy, they won the rugby state championship 2 weeks ago. Yes, we are state champions in rugby. Go FASNY! Who would have known 9 years ago when we started a high school that we, our 9th graduating class, would be state champions? Nous sommes réunis à présent pour honorer et dire au revoir à notre 9e promotion de terminale, dont nous sommes très fiers. Au cours des années, ces jeunes ont su aller au-delà de leurs différences et tisser des amitiés fortes, en dépit de tout ce qui aurait pu les séparer. Des amitiés qui leur ont permis de faire face à l'adversité ensemble, d'affronter des situations parfois extrêmement difficiles et de montrer face aux défis que la vie leur avait lancés un sens admirable de la solidarité. They are ready for their new adventure, ready to leave their school, their families, and to lead a productive young adult's life. Their parents, their friends, and their teachers have helped them to prepare for this moment. They are equipped with the intellectual and emotional skills necessary to contribute to the world and receive from it too. Graduates, you are embarking on an exhilarating journey in which you may also face diversity or adversity again. Remember the lessons you have learned so far. Do not forget to bring along on this new trip your aptitude for friendship and solidarity. They will come in handy. Accept challenges and stand strong when tackling them. Life may not be always perfect, but its imperfections make it often more interesting and brighter. Leonard Cohen's song, Anthem, has it right. Maybe you don't know him, but it's one from my time. Ring the bells that can still ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything, but that's how the light gets in. Finalement, j'aimerais rendre hommage ce soir à M. Rosenblum, Marc Rosenblum, le directeur de notre lycée, qui quittera la FASNY dans quelques semaines pour s'envoler lui aussi vers de nouvelles aventures, puisqu'il sera le nouveau directeur de la San Diego French School. Pendant les 6 dernières années, Marc a consacré toute son énergie et son talent à diriger notre high school avec un très grand succès. I could enumerate Mark's impressive and numerous accomplishments at FASNY and a long list of the skills and qualities which made him such a great asset for our school. Among all these attributes, what makes Mark such a positive and successful educational leader is, in my mind, his strong moral sense, his true dedication to students and their well-being, and his belief that education is no education at all if it does not address the whole individual. Thank you, Mark. We will miss you. J'aimerais maintenant poursuivre la tradition initiée par mon prédécesseur et mentor, Bob Leonhardt, en vous demandant, chers élèves, d'honorer vos enseignants et vos parents auxquels vous devez tant en les applaudissant. Merci.
Okay, we're going to try to keep things moving right along. I'd like to introduce someone very special, our guest speaker for today's ceremony. His name is Jim Citrin. Jim is a worldwide best-selling author, and he's an expert on careers and professional success. It's a very good choice for us, for this group of young people about to head out into the world. Jim is originally from Great Neck, New York, graduated from Vassar College in 1981, Phi Beta Kappa, highest honors, majored in economics, and studied French, yes, I know you were wondering, every semester, which he applied during internships in the summers in Paris in a major international bank. After Vassar, Jim was a financial analyst at a tiny little-known bank called Morgan Stanley and Company in New York. He then attended a lesser-known business school at Harvard, where he graduated with distinction in 1986. Subsequent to business school, he was an associate at Goldman Sachs, and then spent 5 years at the global consulting firm, insert McKinsey and Company, in both the New York and Paris offices. Now, for the past 23 years, he has been with the world's leading executive recruiting and leadership advisory firm, Spencer Stuart, where he serves on the worldwide board of directors and leads the chief executive officer practice. So I think he knows a little bit about what success looks like and a little bit about what leadership looks like. And courage, I would imagine, as well, and risk-taking, some of the things you guys know a little bit about. He has recruited over 650 CEOs, board directors, and other top executives. Some of his placements include CEOs of companies like Intel, the New York Times, Sotheby's, Discovery, MetLife, Ralph Lauren. Listen, I have about 12 more names I could read. I'm not going to do it. Long a student of leadership and professional success, Jim has published 8 books, including bestsellers, The 5 Patterns of Extraordinary Careers, Lessons from the Top, and You're in Charge. Now what? His most recent best-selling book, The Career Playbook, Essential Advice for Today's Aspiring Young Professional, was just released in an interactive online course. He is an influencer on LinkedIn. Now, do you guys know what that means? How many followers do you have to be an influencer on LinkedIn? Jim has 800,000 followers on LinkedIn. He's written 65 articles published on LinkedIn. passionate about education, Jim has served as a trustee at Vassar for 12 years, and also for 6 years at Wesleyan University, where his 2 sons, Teddy and Oliver, graduated. His youngest daughter, Lily, just graduated this past weekend from Dartmouth. Jim, we are so very honored and delighted to have you come speak to us today at FASNY's 9th Commencement Ceremony.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenblum, and good evening, everybody. What an amazing setting, and I'm really delighted to be here with you tonight and celebrate with you the FASNY class of 2017 and your great and proud families. As lovely as it is to be here tonight, I have to say it is actually all a little unlikely. You see, I had actually agreed to give another commencement address tonight for another school with a distinctly French connection. But after the thorough, and as was referenced, historic thrashing of the Lycée Français de New York in rugby, I decided to, the heck with them, I wanted to be more active. And it's not just on the rugby pitch where I've been so impressed with the FASNY accomplishments, especially this year with the historic first IB class ever. Congratulations. And having done a little research, let us not forget the senior prank, which, as I understand it, was actually a test put on by the administration to see if you would actually give in. But no, the seniors, who amazingly represent more than 20 nationalities, showed 2 of the most important attributes of achievement: resilience and perseverance, to ultimately drape the cafeteria with balloons and set up the ability to douse innocent bystanders with flour. So, all right, the senior prank, what can you say? But I do have 2 special thank yous tonight, right now, to make. One is to my brilliant godson, Aramis Boileau, who we will all be hearing from shortly, and to whom I humbly say I have taught everything he knows. The second thank you is to Mr. Rosenblum, and congratulations on your wonderful new move, but the thank you goes to Mr. Rosenblum because it's known by everybody here in this community and far beyond these walls that his legendary expertise in public speaking, they actually inspired these remarks. So if you don't like these remarks, or if more likely, as all graduating seniors, whether it's high school or college, you won't remember a word of them. If you don't like them or you don't remember them, it's not my fault. You can blame Mr. Rosenblum. Okay, you're probably sitting here thinking a little bit about your future and how it may unfold. I know FASNY is populated with the brightest super achievers from incredible families who all have high expectations for what you will achieve when you go to your far-flung universities and colleges in the US, Canada, France, and the UK. So if you're the planning type, you may be wondering what to major in college, what internships you want to get in order to get the job you want one day to enable you to live the life you want to lead and be in a setting like this one day. Well, you can relax. Here's the thing. No matter how carefully you plan and try, your path will only make sense in the future with the benefit of hindsight. It is more of a random walk. Trust me, I've studied this for years and years. You can save a lot of stress now and this summer and for the next few years by not trying to overplan things. But it doesn't mean that you should be passive and let life come to you. It's just a matter of what you choose to focus on and how consistently you apply those things over time. They make all the difference. Let me illustrate how random things can be and the role that serendipity plays by sharing the story of how it is that I'm standing here with you tonight. See, unlike you, the scholars of FASNY, I was anything but. As Mr. Rosenblum said, I grew up across the Long Island Sound in Great Neck, New York. I was the troubled middle child of a wonderful family. I had an older brother, a brilliant student who went to Dartmouth, is a very successful private equity superstar. My younger sister was the beautiful one who everybody always loved. And then there was me, the athlete, or the silly one, depending on the day. I rarely finished my homework. I watched television most evenings, analog linear television before on demand, and I played sports. From 7th grade on, I played on school teams, 3 sports every single year: soccer in the fall, swimming in the winter, lacrosse in the spring. College athletic recruiting wasn't as it is today. And needless to say, I didn't have great grades when it came time to applying to college. To maximize my chances of getting into a half-decent school, I applied early decision. But not just to one school, to 3. I know, it sounds like it's against the rules, but it actually wasn't. You see, my application was so weak that when I applied to Union College early decision, I was rejected. And I was rejected so fast that I still had time to make the early decision deadline to Colgate. And I was rejected there still so fast that I still had a week to get my 3rd early decision application into Trinity College in Hartford. At least there I got deferred, but I was later rejected. I was, however, the beneficiary of serendipity on 2 fronts. The year that I was applying, 1977, was the very first year of the Common Application. So I put out 15 applications to a random list. One of the schools was Vassar, where someone from my high school went. So I ticked the box and sent in the application fee. Having done, characteristically, no homework, I didn't know that I should have had no chance to get into Vassar either. But then, my second stroke of college admissions luck happened. See, Vassar had just recently gone co-ed. The class of 1974 was the first one to graduate men. I learned several years later that the director of admissions wanted to perform a controlled experiment and accept a few academically challenged men or boys who were athletes. I kid you not. So unlike Matt Risk, who, from everything I know, is going to Vassar the right way, and I will talk to you later, Matt, I got in, and I was lucky. But here's where my story connects a little more directly with all of you here tonight. So in the summer before college, I was part of an American tennis team playing tournaments across Europe. The first big one was in Paris, and then after that, we were sent to a town on the north coast of France called Mer-les-Bains. Maybe some of you know it, where another bit of serendipity was about to unfold. The village, Mer-les-Bains, is truly picturesque, with half-moon beach surrounded by soaring white cliffs. We were put up by a local family, or local families, and I was luckily assigned to one who happened to have a completely gorgeous 17-year-old girl named Valérie. There was just one problem. Valérie spoke not one word of English, and at the time, je ne parlais pas un mot de français. See, I'd been the world's worst Spanish student throughout high school. So try as we did to communicate, there was just nothing going on there. But I made a vow to myself then and there that I would come back one day speaking French. So when I got to Vassar, I signed up for an introductory French and dove into it with a passion, driven by real motivation. And I started to make progress. So I was taking it every term, as Mr. Rosenblum said, and I was loving Vassar, and I was performing well academically and enjoying the sports scene. Played on the varsity soccer, squash, and tennis teams back in the day when you could play multiple varsity sports, Division III. My secret, by the way, was to work really hard every day and not fall behind, basically like squeezing in work while other people were just partying. And then I decided to take advantage of a program called the 12 College Exchange Program, in which students could take a term as a visiting student at other schools. Vassar and Dartmouth were, where my brother was the class ahead of me, were members. So I applied and I was accepted for the winter and spring terms my junior year. Randomly, or perhaps with serendipity, I was assigned to a room with a Dartmouth junior who was just returning from studying abroad. That was Etienne Boileau, who would go on to renown one day as the father of Aramis, Clays, and India, and the husband to the magnificent Lisa. And thank you to them for helping invite me tonight. So we became the best of friends, and not just because Etienne helped me make sure all of my French homework was perfect. Etienne also helped me manage to wrangle that summer internship in the bank in Paris after my junior year. And then at that time, my French was passable in the classroom, but it was still pretty elementary in real life. On the first day, the manager who I was assigned to spoke to me for about 15 minutes, telling me presumably about what they did. I literally did not understand one single word. And when I tried to speak, I completely froze. I'm sure he was looking at me and saying, "What did we just get in here?" But I made a decision that day that I would not speak one word of English that entire summer. And I didn't. Pity on the poor people in the bank who had to listen to me and speak so slowly for me to understand. But by the end of the summer, I was pretty good. And yes, of course, I visited Valerie up in Merleban, and it was a wonderful time. And years later, after much more daily practice, nothing ever happened with Valerie, by the way. Although I think I'll write her and tell her that I spoke to her. I haven't talked to her in 30 years, but she was very nice. But anyway, as Mr. Rosenblum said, I was able to really get much better in French, and I ended up moving back to Paris and worked in the McKinsey Paris office, working and living in French, and it was wonderful. But here's the point, that with a concrete goal to learn French, and with one simple decision to not speak English, carried out with discipline over a long period of time, it produced a life-changing result. So let's turn back to you. Every member of the FASNY class of 2017 has enormous talent and ambition. The question is, how will you apply them? I believe that the adventure of your college and university years will be a path to discover just that, such that you realize your potential and achieve happiness and success and satisfaction. So with this in mind, I have a humble but important objective for the last few minutes of this talk: to help you understand the life-changing power of small things. Small things, when applied consistently and over long periods of time, have the ability to shape your life. They also can lead to massive professional success. And let me just illustrate that with a couple of examples. For any baseball fans under this beautiful tent, you know that Cooperstown, New York is famous for one thing: the Baseball Hall of Fame, the pinnacle of success. Of course, it's extraordinarily difficult to get in. There are only 312 members. To be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame as a hitter, you have to bat an average of .302, which means that for every at-bat over the course of a season, you had to get a hit 30% of the time. But here's the thing, and this illustrates the power of small differences applied over time. The average major leaguer bats .271, which means that for every at-bat, they will get a hit 27% of the time. Over the course of a 162-game season, the difference between being in the middle of the pack and being the best of the best is just 18 hits per year, or just one more hit every 17 games. The Hall of Famers studied, practiced, and worked over time to get that smallest of advantage, to get that one extra hit every 17 games, and the results are immortality. The key, therefore, is to find the small but significant ways to achieve incremental improvements in your life. Here are just two practical techniques that you can apply to great effect. Let me start with something concrete and so simple that it defies belief, and maybe you'll even remember it tomorrow. Fitness. As I mentioned, I played 3 sports in high school and throughout my years at Vassar, so sports and fitness have been an important theme throughout my entire life. Staying fit makes you feel better, gives you the energy to do what you want to do, and it is actually highly correlated with professional success. And perhaps most importantly, it saves you lots of money from having to buy new suits or new clothes over time. But many people, no one in this tent of course, but many people in the outside world don't like to exercise and they don't seem to find the time. My secret has been a remarkable app that I've been using religiously every single day for the past 3 years. The 7-minute workout. I don't know if anybody here uses the 7-minute workout. I see a hand, a couple of hands. So the 7-minute workout? What? Come on. I grew up in the era of no pain, no gain, running 40 miles a week to run marathons. The more the better. How can something that only takes 7 minutes be worth anything? Well, the power is, the answer is the power of small things. The 7-minute workout, as it says, takes only 7 minutes. And here's the thing about 7 minutes. 7 minutes rounds down to 5 minutes, and 5 minutes rounds down to nothing. So there is no excuse to not be able to fit in 7 minutes every single day. If you're going out, studying for an exam, you can still find 7 minutes. If your parents are taking you on a trip and you have to leave early in the morning, you can still do 7 minutes. If you're exhausted and it's time for bed, you can fit in one last 7-minute block. I've run 14 marathons since college. The last 3 years I've done 4, and I've averaged running only 12 miles a week. And I'm proud to say that my times in the last couple of years, between 3:36 and 3:46, are identical to what I did in 1981 and throughout the 1980s. And the secret, I kid you not, is the 7-minute workout. So don't be fooled though. The actual exercises are difficult, especially at first. It's made up of 12 exercises that are selected based on scientific research to complement and build on one another. You do them at a high intensity for 30 seconds with 10 seconds of rest in between. Jumping jacks, wall sits, squats, lunges, that kind of thing. You can do them in your dorm room next year. No equipment is needed, and it achieves the equivalent of an hour's workout in only 7 minutes. And the app is really well designed with encouragement and directions in 17 languages, of course, including French, as well as Pavlovian rewards such as bells and countdowns. Let's move to the next one, goal setting. For years, I believed that wanting to be the best was hardwired into all of us. But that's actually not at all the case. But if you do have the burning desire to achieve and accomplish great things, then one of the most powerful ways to do that is another small thing, goal setting. Setting measurable goals, committing to them in writing, and monitoring your progress is a powerful way to point in the right direction and track your advancement. See, some people avoid being specific because they don't want to expose themselves to the risk of failing. But it is essential to be specific and hold yourself accountable, like that summer I did in Paris to not speak a word of English. One of the books I wrote was about the best sports champions in the world across all sports, and I had the privilege of interviewing one of the greatest Olympic swimmers ever, an Australian named Grant Hackett, the fastest distance swimmer in history. When Grant became a teenager, he had the simple idea to pin up a chart on his bedroom wall. The chart showed the best times that all of his idols had swum when they were 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. And he said that the chart gave him a concrete way to set goals and track his progress. He would just try and do the same times that they did when they were at his age. And he said years later that it was singularly motivating in focusing his training and his racing efforts. For those of us who aren't Olympic athletes, however, it's similarly important to set quantifiable goals. It's important to set short-term goals, developing a particular skill, completing a project, reading a particular book. But it's also important to set longer-term goals as well. An effective technique for long-term goal setting is something that my Vassar English professor assigned to our writing seminar sophomore year. The assignment was 20 years from now. That was it. With only that as a direction, we each had to write an essay about what our life would look like in 1999. Trust me, it is both impactful and quite hilarious to go back years later and look at what you wrote. So I urge you to have fun after graduation. by giving yourself a little assignment to write a vision of what your life might be like or will be like in 2037. Print it out and refer to it from time to time. I actually believe it'll help you achieve some great things. The same principle of applying small things consistently over time works in every area of your life. You want to be a millionaire? You just have to save $300 a month, and with compound interest, you will become a millionaire in 30 years. Not that a million will be that much in 30 years, but you get the point. Exponential compound interest. You want to have exponential improvements in any area of your life? Then take stock at the end of each week and write down one single thing you could have done just slightly better that week. And if you do that every week, your performance will accelerate. You want to be an inspiring leader of people? Then develop the habit and apply of focusing on the success of others around you, your classmates, your teammates, and eventually your workmates, as much as your own success. So, as you sit here at your FASNY graduation in this magnificent setting with your families and friends surrounding you with pride and love, the world unfolding in front of you, remember, be open to the serendipities that will appear in front of you. They will come in unexpected ways. And remember the life-changing power of small things. Download the 7-Minute Workout app. Set concrete short-term goals and write down a vision of what your life might be like in 2037. And be on the lookout for other things that will be meaningful and impactful to you if you do them consistently and over long periods of time. You see, your life will be the sum of your habits and your routines. Your small actions, good or bad, will end up making you the person who you will become. You are the truly historic class, FASNY class of 2017. Thank you, go forth and conquer.
Okay, the time has come for student speakers. There will be 3 speakers representing each of our baccalaureate tracks, IB, ES, S, and then a final speaker to read a text to us, a poem. 2 of these speakers will be in French and 2 will be in English. And each will introduce him or herself, and they will proceed one after the other. And we'll start with Aramis Boileau.
Dear teachers, administrators, parents, family members, friends, and guests. Welcome to the graduation of FASNY's class of 2017. It doesn't seem very long ago that we were arriving at Pontiac, fresh with excitement at the prospect of our last school year, and yet here we are, with that year in our rearview mirror. For some of us, our first moments at the school were only about a year and a half ago, in September 2015, at the beginning of our various diploma programs. For me, that was the start of the IB, which would come to define my last 2 years at the school. And in this short time, whether those newcomers arrived from half an hour up the hutch, or from a different continent, having traveled across oceans to learn with us, FASNY has exerted its inexplicable capacity to become their home. I'd like to talk a little bit about the idea of home, as many of us graduating students consider home to be very different places. Our international upbringing and constant immersion in foreign culture is a blessing by all means, and yet when still developing students who've lived those experiences are put in an environment where people perhaps have not had the same luck that we have, it can be difficult to find a place that we truly fit in. And yet we had FASNY. For me, FASNY was that place. I first began at FASNY at the age of 3, and in 2nd grade switched levels to join classes that already included people sitting here today. I finished elementary school at FASNY, and then when middle school started, I found myself at the Lycée Français de Barcelone. I was 10. I spent 3 years there before returning to FASNY at the beginning of high school, one of many in this class who left for a short period of time before coming back, be it to Barcelona, Morocco, or even Hong Kong. So what is it that draws us to keep coming back, to make FASNY our default, our home? For me, It was simply that FASNY was the only place I could imagine people understanding and relating to my broken French, aggressively supplemented by my much larger vocabulary in English, were laughing with me about the worst shows on television before sitting down for a healthy hour of college-level calculus. FASNY is defined not by its facilities or by the size of its classes, although we are the largest in a while, I believe, but by its people. Home is where we are around people we want to be around and would actively seek out otherwise. And within that context of a home at FASNY, we had the IB. As the first class in this program at the school, trailblazing is an understatement for what we were doing. It was a unique experience. Because as we were figuring out the material we needed to learn, the administration was at the very same time trying to figure out how best to teach it to us. To give a little snapshot of the life of an IB student in the 2017 class, we would have a week of virtually nothing, dismissed from all our standard level options, and then follow it up immediately with 3 mock exams, 5 CAS reflections, and 10 metric tons of reading the next. And so although there were definite ups and downs, long nights in December spent hunched over computers, struggling to remember how to double space a paragraph at 2 a.m., we all made it. And despite the fact that FASNY was my home, home is perhaps what changes us most, what gives us the comfort and confidence to step outside of what we know and reach for who and what we aspire to be. FASNY has certainly changed me. And here we are. 15 years later, after walking into my first nursery class at the age of 3, I'm ready to take that piece of FASNY that will always be with me, what makes it my home, along on the next adventure. And all of us, wherever we are going, to colleges in the US, the UK, France, Spain, Canada, institutes in Italy, academies in Tokyo, I know that somehow we will all do the same. I'd like to take a moment, though, to remind us that although today is our day, our celebration, none of us would be here without the constant care and support that we received each and every day from our teachers, our administrators, our coaches, and most of all, our devoted parents. The environment that they collectively created for us is one of the biggest reasons that we can all sit here as accomplished as we are. The fact that we're actually graduating is, I'm sure, as much of a relief for them as it is for us. However, this is where that story ends, and another chapter of each of our lives begins. And as we look forward towards what the future holds for us, we must remember that we are only limited by constraints that we place upon ourselves. We have gotten extremely lucky, all of us, born into the situations that we were born into with the gifts that we were born with. We forget it sometimes because it becomes banal. But the fact remains that FASNY is a really good school, and we're all really smart. Now is the time to take a second to look back and be proud of all we've accomplished in academics, in college acceptances, in sports championships, and most importantly of all, our own personal growth throughout the years that we've spent at FASNY, be they 2 or 12. All of us, no matter what may come next individually, we all have very real potential to change the face of our world. So we must remember this while working late into the night on papers and reports and any amount of other fun names for unfun things. We have already won the lottery. Don't allow yourself to be the roadblock that prevents you from leaving your mark. Because apart from ourselves, no one can stop us. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Adam Hilleli. I'm well aware of the tradition, the rules of public speaking, and what I'm expected to share on the podium with you today. But guys, we don't live in normal times. The essence of this school and everything we have learned is under attack. So no traditional speech from me today. Sorry. As I'm sure everyone here can say, both real and fake news are scary these days. There is not a day that goes by without seeing how FASNY's values are being challenged. While for this class, globalization and multiculturalism are second nature, not everyone around us sees these concepts this way. Populism is on the rise globally, and the world is changing in front of our eyes. Fortunately, as soon-to-be FASNY grads, we are ready and able to help. And as a FASNY lifer who has been here for 15 years, I can tell you why. The values of the school and the education we have received go beyond bilingual studies. From a very young age, attending FASNY has always been about living in a culture of inclusion and global responsibility. The diverse community of families from across nearly 60 nationalities is not just a statistic, it's real. Many of us are children of immigrants, of diplomats, and of multinational corporate executives. Our school simply would not exist without the free flow of families and companies from around the globe. The friendships we have developed here have never been based on cultural background and truly are colorblind. We tend to see people beyond their spoken language, their country of origin, and their faith of choice. I will never forget how back in 10th grade, 6 of us were living in Alicante, Spain for a trimester-long exchange program. The school in Alicante was mainly divided along the lines of nationality and native tongue. There were the Spaniards, the French, and the Algerians. As FASNY outsiders, we were able to not only get along with the 3 groups, but on certain occasions actually bring them together. So clearly, we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. As a class of 2017, we embrace and promote the school's multiculturalism and tolerance in many other ways. Clubs like Diversity, Spectrum, Model United Nations, and the bilingual school newspaper have pushed the envelope by encouraging students to walk in other people's shoes and empathize with their experiences. There was one particular Diversity Club activity I am sure we will all remember. It was during a school-wide meeting. Club members asked us to either take steps forward or backward based on our race, financial status, and sexual orientation. The end result was eye-opening. Just try to visualize the school gymnasium with on one hand 250 kids, white kids I might add, in one cohesive unit, standing in front of a group of 50 or so minority students. The image was both stark and memorable and forced us out of our comfort zones. This image and the lesson learned from this exercise undoubtedly will stay with us forever. As a student in the French Baccalaureate's Economics and Social Sciences program, I also believe that the ES track and the OIB curriculum in particular help to instill the values of global tolerance and understanding. From an SOS lesson on social integration to a philosophy class on John Rawls' theory of justice, from the literary study of Toni Morrison's Beloved to an Histoire Géo unit on the process of globalization, these FASNY experiences stress the importance of coexistence and tolerance. I cannot forget when my younger brother Kobe had come home from his first day of kindergarten on a bus shared with 2 other private schools. As soon as he walked through the door, he exclaimed, "Mommy, Mommy, you won't believe this. The kids on the other school only speak English at their school." Isn't that weird? Friends and family, no, it's not weird. We are the weird ones. Our class, after being exposed to so much diversity and openness, is different from the rest. And that is even more so here in the United States. While many nations, including the US, have recently turned isolationist, and while the benefits of globalization are under intense scrutiny, we relentlessly embody the values of a global world. As the graduating class of 2017, we must go forth into the world as ambassadors of global tolerance and coexistence. We are about to spread across the globe, attending universities in many countries such as Canada, Spain, the Netherlands, England, and even Japan and Italy. This is our time to promote the benefits of globalization, and I know we have the tools, the background, and the desire to do so. So yes, we are prepared to help the world during these tough times. And for that, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to several important people. The first thank you goes to our passionate and dedicated teachers, coaches, administrators, and counselors. FASNY's outstanding faculty sets the tone and rigorous standards of our school, and we are grateful for their commitment. The second thank you is to all the parents in this room for supporting us throughout this wild journey. Former United Nations Secretary Kofi Annan stated, "Arguing against globalization is like arguing against the laws of gravity." So, everybody fasten your seatbelt. Here come the global citizens of FASNY, whose belief in the values of globalization is even stronger than gravity itself. Thank you.
Bonsoir à tous les parents, grands-parents, élèves, anciens élèves, professeurs, proches et à la promo légendaire de 2017. Je n'ai jamais compris les gens qui disent qu'imaginer le public tout nu aiderait avec le stress. Moi, ça me rend juste un peu mal à l'aise. Je m'appelle Nathan Pommier et cette cérémonie marque la fin de mes 6 années à la FASNY. Pour certains d'entre vous, c'est ici que vous avez appris à lire et à écrire, à résoudre une équation ou encore à philosopher. C'est peut-être ici que vous avez fait vos premiers discours, eu vos premiers coups de cœur ou remporté les championnats de state de rugby. Mais peu importe si vous êtes à la FASNY depuis 1 an ou depuis 15 ans, ensemble on a tous ri, travaillé, un peu stressé et peut-être pleuré. Mais on a surtout passé des moments difficiles à oublier. Aujourd'hui, nous fêtons la fin du bac, des examens IB et de notre scolarité. Remarque, vu la mine de certains élèves ce soir, je dirais que ce n'est pas le premier jour que nous la fêtons. Mais aujourd'hui, nous sommes aussi reconnaissants pour tout le travail de nos professeurs et les efforts de nos parents, que nous ne prenons jamais assez le temps de remercier. Aujourd'hui, nous quittons notre cocon pour faire face à un monde avec de nouveaux enjeux. L'injustice, l'intolérance, les attentats, le réchauffement climatique. On entre dans un monde loin d'être aussi idéal que celui de la FASNY. On voit que la diplomatie a du mal à unir un monde qui se divise. Et c'est à nous de prendre la relève sur les défis de notre génération. C'est à notre tour d'agir, non seulement parce que nous le pouvons, mais parce que nous avons la responsabilité d'agir envers ceux qui ne peuvent pas. Nous ne devons pas faire appel ni à la peur, ni à la haine, mais aux espoirs de réussir et d'être heureux. Nous ne devons pas renier le réchauffement climatique, car la belle chose avec les sciences, c'est que ça se passe, qu'on y croit ou pas. C'est à nous de guider une génération qui résistera à l'injustice, qui reconnaîtra l'importance des droits humains avant les intérêts personnels, et qui investira dans la jeunesse et dans les énergies du futur. Aujourd'hui, une page se tourne et nous passons dans le monde des études supérieures. Parmi nous, je vois des architectes, des ingénieurs, des scientifiques et des artistes. Je vois déjà des diplomates, des médecins et des chefs d'entreprise. Alors que nous serons à l'université, faisons l'effort de discuter avec des gens avec lesquels nous ne sommes pas d'accord. C'est tellement facile de s'isoler en s'entourant de ceux qui partagent nos points de vue. Et on le fait tout le temps, que ce soit avec nos amis ou les pages qu'on suit sur les réseaux sociaux. Et nous nous rendrons compte de tout le chemin qui reste à accomplir. Mais c'est des gens comme ceux que j'ai rencontrés à la FASNY qui me donnent espoir. Parce que parmi nous, Je vois des gens conscients des problèmes du monde et avec l'ambition de les corriger. Aujourd'hui, nous obtenons notre diplôme, qui sera à la fin un trophée et un souvenir. Nous partons un peu plus intelligents, un peu plus beaux, un peu plus mûrs et un peu plus sages, enfin pour la grande majorité. Et nous espérons partir en laissant la FASNY meilleure que nous l'avons trouvée. Par exemple, avec une nouvelle tradition, le Senior Spank. Nous avons grandi, mais nous avons gardé le même esprit, jeune et audacieux. Donc lançons-nous pour accomplir nos rêves, parce que ce n'est qu'une question de volonté. Soyons prêts à nous remettre en question. Apprenons et voyageons, car ces deux choses sont antidotes à l'ignorance. Devenons la meilleure version de nous-mêmes, car nous avons chacun le potentiel de changer le monde. Alors vas-y, fonce, on ne sait jamais, sur le malentendu, ça peut marcher. Aujourd'hui, nous devenons des anciens élèves. Cette cérémonie n'est pas un au revoir à jamais, parce que nous savons que les amitiés créées ici durent à vie. Ça a été un plaisir, un véritable privilège de faire partie de la promo la plus grande et certainement la plus formidable de l'histoire de la FASNY. Passez tous un bel été bien mérité et à la promo de 2017, bon vent.
Bonsoir à tous. Je vais aujourd'hui vous lire un poème. Il s'appelle « Tu apprendras la vie » de Jorge Luis Borges. Après quelque temps, tu apprendras la différence entre tendre la main et secourir une âme. Et tu apprendras que aimer ne signifie pas s'appuyer et que compagnie ne signifie pas toujours sécurité. Tu commenceras à apprendre que les baisers ne sont pas des contrats, ni des cadeaux, ni des promesses. Tu commenceras à accepter tes échecs la tête haute, comme un adulte, et non avec la tristesse d'un enfant. Et tu apprendras à construire aujourd'hui tes chemins, parce que les terrains de demain est incertain, et ne garantit pas la réalisation des projets, et que le futur a l'habitude de ne pas tenir ses promesses. Après un certain temps, tu apprendras que le soleil brûle si tu t'y exposes trop. Tu accepteras le fait que même les meilleurs peuvent te blesser parfois, et que tu auras à leur pardonner. Tu apprendras que parler peut alléger les douleurs de l'âme. Tu apprendras qu'il faut beaucoup d'années pour bâtir la confiance et à peine quelques secondes pour la détruire. Et que, toi aussi, tu pourrais faire des choses dont tu te repentiras le reste de ta vie. Tu apprendras que les vraies amitiés continuent à grandir malgré la séparation. Et que ce qui compte, ce n'est pas ce que tu possèdes, mais qui compte dans ta vie. Et que les bons amis sont la famille qu'il nous est permis de choisir. Tu apprendras que nous n'avons pas à changer d'amis si nous acceptons que nos amis changent et évoluent. Tu expérimenteras que tu peux passer des bons moments avec ton meilleur ami en faisant n'importe quoi ou en ne faisant rien du tout, seulement pour le plaisir de jouir de sa compagnie. Tu découvriras que souvent, nous prenons à la légère les personnes qui nous importent le plus. Et pour cela, nous devons toujours dire à ces personnes que nous les aimons. Tu apprendras que les circonstances et l'ambiance qui nous entourent ont une influence sur nous, mais que nous sommes les uniques responsables de ce que nous faisons. Tu commenceras à comprendre que nous ne devons pas nous comparer aux autres, sauf si nous désirons les imiter pour nous améliorer. Tu découvriras qu'il te faut beaucoup de temps pour être enfin la personne que tu désires être, et que le temps est court. Tu apprendras que si tu ne contrôles pas tes actes, eux te contrôleront. Et qu'être souple ne signifie pas être mou ou ne pas avoir de personnalité. Car peu importe à quel point une situation est délicate ou complexe, il y a toujours deux manières de l'aborder. Tu apprendras que les héros sont des personnes qui ont fait ce qu'il était nécessaire de faire en assumant les conséquences. Tu apprendras que la patience requiert une longue pratique. Tu découvriras que parfois, La personne dont tu crois qu'elle te piétinera si tu tombes est l'une des rares qui t'aidera à te relever. Mûrir dépend davantage de ce que t'apprennent tes expériences que des années que tu as vécues. Tu apprendras que tu tiens beaucoup plus de tes parents que tu veux bien le croire. Tu apprendras que, lorsque tu sens de la colère et de la rage en toi, tu en as le droit, mais cela ne te donne pas le droit d'être cruel. Il ne suffit pas toujours d'être pardonné par les autres. Parfois, tu auras à apprendre à te pardonner à toi-même. Tu apprendras que, avec la même sévérité que tu juges les autres, toi aussi tu seras jugé et parfois condamné. Tu apprendras que, peu importe que tu aies le cœur brisé, le monde ne s'arrête pas de tourner. Tu apprendras que le temps ne peut revenir en arrière. Tu dois cultiver ton propre jardin et décorer ton âme, au lieu d'attendre que les autres te portent des fleurs. Alors, et alors seulement, tu sauras ce que tu peux réellement endurer, que tu es fort, et que tu pourras aller bien plus loin que tu le pensais quand tu t'imaginais ne plus pouvoir avancer. C'est que réellement, la vie n'a de valeur que si tu as la valeur de l'affronter. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, if delegates could approach to present the class gift, that would be excellent this time. I believe, Louise, you are going to say a few words.
Bonsoir. Je sais pas vous, mais moi je transpire beaucoup en ce moment. Et s'il y a bien un autre endroit où transpire, c'est surtout le terrain de sport. Donc avant d'annoncer quel cadeau nous allons faire à l'école, j'aimerais souligner que nous sommes une promotion très très compétitive. Académiquement bien sûr, mais sportivement aussi. Donc nous l'avons beaucoup répété ce soir, mais je vais en rajouter une couche. Nous avons battu le lycée 2 fois. En foot d'abord, bravo les footeux. Et puis en rugby ensuite, 65-7, le jour de la fête des mères. J'ai repris pour vous. Donc nous avons beaucoup participé dans toutes les équipes, que ce soit athlétisme, basket ou tennis, en participant beaucoup et en gagnant parfois. C'est pour cela que nous avons décidé de contribuer à la gloire future de la FASNY et de remercier cette école en offrant une armoire à trophées pour le nouveau campus, dans lequel nous pouvons désormais mettre le trophée du championnat de New York de rugby qui inaugurera cette armoire. Elle arrivera plus tard, c'était trop lourd à apporter ici.
We're getting close to diploma time, but not quite there yet. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to invite to the podium Emmanuelle Vansiguera, the chairwoman of the Board of Trustees of FASNY, to deliver the message from the board. Emmanuelle.
Wow. I'm so proud of you guys. Very impressive. Congratulations. Good afternoon, students, parents, teachers, staff, and friends and families of the French American School. We are gathered today to celebrate the graduation of our 2017 class, the first with 3 distinct curricula and the biggest ever class of seniors in the history of the French American School. Congratulations. I have to say that I'm honored, but also personally very moved to look at this accomplished group of smart and handsome young men and women who I have known for most of them for a very long time and remember their first step in the school. I will certainly personally very much miss you guys. First of all, let me thank Joël, the faculty, and the staff of the French American School who have accompanied our children through a critical period of their life. Your professionalism, your commitment, your generosity have offered them a remarkable academic education to which European and American colleges results testify. You also showed our children how dedication, inclusion, and solidarity can be the tenets of a tight and nevertheless open community. So a big round of applause for our teachers. I also want to thank the families for their continued support to the school and to the students. A successful education relies on the quality of the interaction and the communication between the school and the families and the students themselves. As per the African saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Finally, let me congratulate all of you for your accomplishments and share two simple thoughts. I actually asked Timothy and Casimir what I should say tonight, and they basically replied, anything you want, but don't be cringe. So I will try my 2 cents. First of all, stay open-minded. As you move to new horizons, new environments, new jobs, new tribes, keep your mind open to differences and novelty. With our bicultural education at FASNY, FASNY has provided you with the intellectual, cultural, and emotional platform to apprehend new ideas, new thinking, and hopefully to foster the desire in you to do so for the rest of your lives. This attitude will allow you to live a very fulfilling life and make a difference in the world. Second, remember that talent is just a start. As Winston Churchill once said, success consists of going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. Most philosophers, poets, and great leaders have talked about the critical importance of resilience over talent and skills. You have been through a very demanding curriculum at FASNY. We wish you to take the rigor you have learned in these classes to everything you will do in your lives. Work hard and don't give up. This is the key to success and happiness. And one last piece of advice, and probably it's a cringe piece of it. Don't forget to call your parents when you go to college. Especially your mothers, right? And in case you don't know yet, text messages don't count, right? All the best to the new chapter of your life, and see you all for the homecoming in September or October, I don't remember. Congratulations.
Ok, nous avons une tradition à la FASNY, à la cérémonie de la remise des diplômes, de reconnaître et honorer les membres de la classe qui sont là depuis assez longtemps. We call these students lifers. We have different levels of lifer, right? So we're going to start, and to save time, but to allow them to be honored and recognized, I'm going to ask you, as I mentioned, each category of lifer that you stand up, please, and that you turn around and face friends and family, and wave if you like. So, here we go. 12 years at FASNY, 12 ans, grade 1 through 12, CP à la terminale. Arthur de la Porte. David. So let's do this. Let's hold our applause until I have them all standing, and then it'll be really loud and great. Okay? David Massar, Jaya Pal Singh, Julien Pourchet, Mathieu Risque, Hector Sonois. If you're following along in your program, you're thinking he's going to say Zeki Squally next, but Zeki actually belongs in 13 years at FASNY. So we're we are a school that believes in learning from mistakes. It's fine. Small clerical error. Zeki, if you could please stand up to lead the 13 years at FASNY, kindergarten through grade 12. He is joined by Maxime Fouilleron, Marc Jabour, and Théo Jacquenou. Alors, 14 ans à la FASNY, 14 years at FASNY, pre-K, moyenne section à la terminale, Yasmine Rolf, if you could please stand up. And finally, petite section, jusqu'en terminale, 15 years at FASNY, nursery through grade 12, Zoé de Parsco, Aramis Boileau, Elsa Dupuis-Danjac, Guillaume Dupaquier, Adam Hilali, Emily Kramer, Gabriella Swartz. If you could give a big round of applause for our FASNY authors. Okay, and now it is time to hand out diplomas. We're going to need a little bit of room on the side, not too much, but the young children who are standing along the side up front here, if you could just step back 2 or 3 paces, that would be perfect, okay? Because our graduates by row are going to be standing on the side. It is my honor with Isabelle Gillet, Dean of Students, and Joel Pinato, Head of School, to deliver at this time diplomas to the class of 2017. With the first row, please stand and line up on the side. Here we go. Are you ready, Isabel? Gaspar Alvarez Morera. Sarah Atlassi. Jérémy Bastien. Louise Bio. Anastasia Piselli. Aramis Boileau. Lucie Bolzan. Théo Brunet. Kylian Bulten. Tara Bulten. Victoria Caranzo. Rocio Carrera Diaz. Tristan Conosante. Adèle Cranier. Justine Créteur. Sorry. Zoé de Parsco du Plessis. Elena de Santa Rita Lambert. Arthur de la Porte. Lucie Desvallées. Margot Dillier. Marc Erwin Jomo Chienda. Cyril Douadi. Célestin Duchamp. Guillaume Dupaquier. Juliette Dupéré. Elsa Dupuis-Danjak. Charlotte Estampe. Maxime Fouilleron. Amir Fouladvan. Juliette Hardy. Louis Hauss. Adam Hilleli. Thomas Horikawa. Guillaume Hureau. Laila Ibrahim. Marc Jabour. Théo Jacquenou. Emily Kramer. Tessa Lagahuzer. Sébastien Lamy. Zoé Lapomme. Tequila Laroche. Chloé Latrèche. Margot Latrèche. Clara Lefebvre. Camille Liger. Emma Lyonnais. David Massard. Margot Meillac. Baptiste Houdet. Thibaut Padiou. Jaya Pal Singh. Nathan Pommier. Chiara Pont-Rouge. Julien Pourchet. Théophile Ruot. Colline Reinhardt. Nathan Ray. Mathieu Risque. Jean-Baptiste Robert. Yasmine Rolf. Nicolas Sem. Alexandre Sherman. Clara Hannah Sobuti. Hector Saunois. At his request, Zeki Squali. Gabriela Swartz. Jocelyn Thomas. Sonia Tiare. Pierre Varin. Audrey Villers. Casimir Vinciguerra. Timothée Vinciguerra. Grégoire Wu. Clara Zlotkin. Thank you, graduates. It is not... Congratulations. It is not time yet to move the tassel, not yet. The tassel should be hanging to the right of your graduation cap. That's where it should be. It looks like that's where it is for most of you, but that's where it should currently be there. You need to sit for just a few more minutes before you're officially moving the tassel to the left-hand side of the cap, signifying that you are alumni of the school. It is time for a musical interlude at this time from the grade 7 chorale. And as they're approaching, I just want to say to this class, in the 6 years I've been here, I cannot remember a class so enthusiastically and passionately cheer on its own members as each received a diploma, and I think it speaks volumes to who you all are as a group. So, thank you. Another FASNY tradition is the passing of the key. The key is here, but I'm not the one who's going to pass it. Emily Kramer and some of the delegates of the senior class are going to come and pass the key. While they're coming up, just a quick thing. Did anybody have one of those blue graduation cap cookies? Can I see a hand or two? Did anybody have one of those cookies? Those cookies were hand-baked from scratch by Emily's mother, Emily Kramer. And I just want to recognize the kind of care and love and attention that represents. And I think it embodies what some of the students were saying earlier about what they've received, what kinds of gifts they've received from their parents over the course of their journey.
So a couple of words for the incoming seniors. I'm going to start off by a quote from Mr. Kanye West. Giving up is way harder than trying. Remember this next year as you're struggling with college apps and, the back. Senior year is hard, and even when you think you won't see an end, the end will come. Have fun with your friends and take advantage of your last year at FASNY. That's it.
Okay, if seniors could, well, you're no longer seniors, right? If just about to be graduated, almost graduates, if you all could rise, please. Okay, if you could turn and face the audience. Okay, this is the tassel ceremony. It's very quick. If you could please take the tassel on your cap and move it from the right side of your cap to the left side of your cap. On behalf of the power vested in me as an administrator at FASNY, I pronounce you graduates of the class of 2017. Felicitations. Congratulations. Senior music. Senior music can come and get sung. Senior music. Time to get set up.
Bonsoir à tous. J'ai plus beaucoup de doigts, donc je vais vous demander un petit peu de silence. Je voulais d'abord vous remercier d'être venus. J'espère que vous n'avez pas trop chaud. Donc on va vous présenter un morceau par l'option musique 2017. Désolée pour ma voix. On voulait tout d'abord remercier nos parents pour cette éducation bilingue et biculturelle qui va nous permettre d'être des citoyens du monde et ouverts d'esprit. Donc merci à nos parents tout d'abord. Et pour illustrer cette éducation spéciale qu'on a reçue, on voulait faire une chanson en français et une chanson en anglais. Mais comme on n'a pas beaucoup de temps, on va les mettre en une. La chanson française, c'est « Je vole » du film La famille Bélier par Louane. Oui, je sais, tous les parents, ils la connaissent. Et puis en anglais, la chanson « Don't worry about a thing » du film Sing. Donc, il pourrait représenter un petit peu les stéréotypes anglais, français, philosophiquement, musicalement culturés, comme par exemple dans nos mythes de Malgré-Guerre, nos philosophes musicaux. En anglais, un petit peu peut-être prise à la légère, mais qui ne devrait pas l'être. On voulait juste dire que la chanson française ne doit pas être prise au pied de la lettre et que celle en anglaise ne doit pas être prise à la légère. Donc juste pour finir, je voulais juste dire que les graduates, si vous prenez quelque chose d'aujourd'hui, que ça soit des speeches, que ça soit maintenant, c'est que la musique peut toujours vous guider dans votre path vers le futur et que la musique, pour moi personnellement, n'est pas juste une façon de express yourself, mais juste est synonyme de bonheur et de happiness. Donc, la musique est une langue universelle où il n'y a pas besoin de parler l'anglais ou le français. La musique peut nous unir. Donc maintenant, without further ado, l'option musique. Merci.
Mes chers parents, je pars. Je vous aime mais je pars. Vous n'aurez plus d'enfants ce soir. Je ne m'enfuis pas, je vole. Comprenez bien, je vole. Sans fumée, sans alcool. Je vole, je vole. Je demande sur ma route si mes parents se doutent que mes larmes ont coulé, mes promesses et l'envie d'avancer.
J'ai dit que j'étais bien, tout à fait l'air serein. Elle a fait comme de rien et mon père démuni a souri.
Ne pas se retourner, s'éloigner un peu plus. Il y a une gare, une autre gare, et enfin l'Atlantique.
Mes chers parents, je pars.
Oui, je pars.
Je vous aime mais je pars.
Oui, je
On
pars.
n'aurait plus d'enfants ce soir. Je ne m'enfuis pas, je vole.
Oui, je vole.
Comprenez bien, je vole.
Oui, je vole.
Sans fumée, sans alcool. Je vole, je vole.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, baby. I'll be standing by your side when you check it out.
if you're ready for recessional music, we're ready to roll. First row. Second row, please rise. Third row, please rise. Fourth row, please rise. Fifth row, please rise. Sixth row, please rise. Seventh row, please rise. It is tradition at FASNY that the faculty process out after the graduates immediately following. And faculty and board may join.
Sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight.